in the recent election campaign, crime was probably the top issue. So we're pleased that you've come here today. We've made our own responses by hiring a third peace officer and putting up security cameras. And we're particularly interested in how are you doing with your vacancies?
Vacancies, we have a rollover every couple of years. Members that were here prior to 2022, December 2022, they were on a 4-year limited duration post. So every 4 years, those members, once their 4 years are up, they get transferred out. After December 2022, they've switched that to no limited duration posting, so members can stay as long as they want or short as they want. Right now, we've got one corporal that's promoted to Grand Prairie, and he's off on paternity leave as well at the same time, so he'll be leaving our community fairly soon. We've got another member transferring to Halifax, one constable. We do have 2 cadets coming in March, so they'll backfill those positions. And we also have one corporal vacancy due to a transfer that happened in August. So we've put them out for basically a lateral promotion or lateral position. No one took the posting there. It went to promotions, and again, nobody put in for the promotion. So now we're looking at its promotion by exemption. So if there's a constable that wants to be a corporal and we feel he's a strong enough candidate, then he'll be chosen to put in for that position. And the sergeant job, I'm going to be moving to staff sergeant once final clearances are done. And we'll have a sergeant position open. We do have one person interested, so hopefully that'll be filled fairly quickly.
So by the end of March, considering that you have 2 cadets coming in, how many vacancies, soft and hard vacancies, will you have, let's say, by the end of March?
End of March. Realistically, I don't think we'll have the corporal positions filled. That's 2 positions there. The one cadet, the constable position should be full with the new cadets coming. It depends on when Constable Isaac gets his house sold and transfers out east. So that could take us down to 1, but realistically, he won't be out of here till April probably. In our GIS unit, one of the constables is going to be moving over to the GIS constable position. So it's general investigation section. Corporal Chu, she's currently seconded to Israel. So that's a vacancy there as well. That's a soft vacancy. So it's just a revolving door right now.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
With hard vacancies, and we've had 2 years in a row where you've had 4 hard vacancies or 3 hard vacancies. Does the province adjust our invoices, requisitions, or does it stay the same at 118 or 142 or 143,000? But we've had, if we're paying for a full complement of 23 established positions, but consistently we are 3 or 4 hard vacancies short of that, it seems we're overpaying.
Yeah, I can understand that.
And something we'd bring up with the commanding officer of the province.
Yeah, I can look into that through the operations strategy branch.
I know in British Columbia they do adjust. I don't know if they do that here in Alberta.
Okay, I can look into that.
Yeah. Curiosity.
Yeah, generally we get a spreadsheet where we fill out which positions were vacant and which positions were filled. So that should go to the branch every year.
Okay.
And hopefully there's an investment for you, but I can find out.
But, being 3 or 4 officers short all the time, and that's not including the soft vacancies. And I would think if somebody's going to Israel, that to me is a hard vacancy.
Yeah.
They're not coming back anytime soon, so I wouldn't call it soft. The big issue, as we heard in the crime reduction public hearing, was patrolling. And it really, it's hard on you to schedule if you're missing 3 or 4 officers, or more than that, 5 or 6 officers. So, and then this year you have half your administrative staff So paperwork doesn't get done on as quickly as possible.
Yeah. Yeah, we're having interviews this week for the 2 positions up front. And the court liaison one should be very soon.
And they have to go through heightened RCMP security clearance.
Yeah, it's through the public service side of the RCMP, so
Mhm.
it's a different union than,
Yeah, it takes a long
members.
time to get approved though.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, okay.
so hopefully soon we'll be back up.
Okay, we'll give the counselors a chance and go around the table. Counselor Temple, no questions, no priorities. Counselor Shunter? Counselor Hanlon?
Hi there.
Hey, Carl.
So my only question would be, so if we move forward with meeting with our constituents, do you have templates that are already drawn up that we could use, or would we be starting from scratch to come up with questions on what they want to see?
I've got a PowerPoint presentation I could probably share with David. And there's a page with kind of where you can fill out your priorities and what kind of things you'd like to see. So I can forward that.
Thank you.
Counselor Menard?
No questions this time, between Councillor Hanlon and CAO. They both asked the questions I was interested in right now.
Counselor Martinson?
I know that the town and the county contribute towards the RCMP, but how does it work for the settlements and the reserves around us?
We have 3 enhanced positions through the settlements. Each Métis settlement pays into the province, and they cover 1 position each for Peavine, East Prairie, and Gift Lake Métis settlements. And we don't have a position in Whitefish Lake, so it's covered by our general duty members.
Deputy Mayor? Since we have the RCMP presence in our community and we also have peace enforcement officers, do you want to make any, or are you able to make any comments about collaboration between Brady's crew and your crew?
Yeah, anytime they need assistance, we can help them out and vice versa. We can probably look at making a plan to do any joint operations for traffic safety checks or roadside checks as well. That's something we can sit down with Brady and kind of plan out for the year.
Okay. Have you met with other communities around this community priorities plan?
Yeah, I met on February 11th with the Big Lakes County Council. So
What kind
they're,
of priorities are they coming up with?
they were going to discuss it among their council and their communities. And then we're going to have a follow-up meeting to kind of see what priorities they have and then put the plan together.
Okay. And you mentioned that you have a PowerPoint that you left with the CAO?
Yeah, I can forward that.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. And that way we can take a look at it in one of our committee of the whole meetings and possibly add to your plan.
Yeah.
Okay. Are there any other questions coming up? Anyone else think of something? Well, thank you very much, Sergeant, for coming this evening,
Thank you.
and have a good evening.
Thank
Hope
you.
the snow doesn't start yet.
I know, been shoveling too much.
Yeah. We've all shoveled too much snow this year. Thank you very much. Are there any public delegations? None? Moving on then to item 3. Report from our peace officer. Our peace officers report, please.
Hope everybody's doing well. Kind of changed up my report just a little bit so I could try and just provide as much information as I can and be as transparent as I can to the council. So on page 11, you'll notice kind of a more of a written report. Kind of just highlights all of our statistics throughout the month. So for the month of January, we had 26 provincial tickets issued and 11 provincial warnings issued. We had 8 municipal tickets issued. And out of the provincial tickets that were issued, 3 of those were gaming and liquor related offenses. There was a couple parking related municipal tickets that were issued and a couple animal related bylaw files that were resolved. Throughout the month of January, we continued our proactive patrols throughout the town of High Prairie, trying to focus on social disorder and public intoxication. As the days are slowly getting warmer and we're getting closer to spring, I'm noticing that there is some more of our unhoused population that are kind of starting to make an appearance again in the general public, and they're causing some sorts of issues, whether that be trespassing or public intoxication, vandalism, that kind of things. Throughout the month of January, one of our vehicles required a very lengthy mechanical repair that resulted in the truck being in the shop for just a little bit over a month. So that kind of caused a little bit of delays in our response to certain situations, as it's difficult to get around when you have 2 peace officers with 1 vehicle that have 2 different issues going on that they need to kind of solve. And then another thing that I've been looking at this month is developing community engagement presentations, just to kind of get into the schools with the youth, promoting bike safety, pedestrian safety, crosswalk safety, traffic safety, just the overall general safety that we're trying to get into the schools and push that a little bit more. I wanted to just give a little bit of an update in regards to our community peace officer posting that we have posted currently. We've received quite a few applications. I would say there's a good amount of qualified candidates, so we will, the posting closes tomorrow, so tomorrow, whenever I get a chance with David, we'll sit down and go through it and shortlist some of those candidates. Hopefully we can start interviews by the first week of March, and then hopefully get whoever it is hired by the second or third week of March, so we can begin the process. Or sorry, of April. I'm all over the place this month. The security cameras, in regards to the RFP, they've been ordered. The plan is to hopefully start getting them installed middle of March, but I still don't have an update from the company on when the equipment will be received. So it's just a matter of waiting for the equipment. Once we get the equipment, the installations will begin almost immediately. On page 12 is just my Excel sheet peace officer report, very similar to what last year's was like. Just kind of breaks down some of the fines a little bit more, and then gives some of the estimated provincial fine revenues that you guys might be interested in knowing about. Beyond that, I don't think I have anything additional for my report. I'm open to any questions.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions? Councillor Shunter?
Hire happens in the middle of April for the 3rd peace officer,
Sorry, correction. It'll be beginning of April.
beginning of April. So they're not going to be from the community, so they have to move here. They start beginning of May.
There's been a couple people who live currently in this community that have applied. I mean, obviously I can't guarantee who the successful candidate's going to be, but if there is such a situation where a candidate has to come in from out of town, we will account for the timing that we kind of need to there.
When realistically are we going to see the 3rd peace officer start? That's my question.
By April.
By April? Okay.
Yes.
Thanks you.
Councillor Temple?
I was just looking at your report thing on page 12, and your animal control bylaw in January is 95 and 225 totals were 209. Is that a lot for 1 month?
Yes. So January month is dog license renewal month. So the 94 number that you see, that's not 94 tickets issued. Some of those numbers include the letters that were sent out to homeowners, basically reminding them to renew their dog licenses for the year.
Okay, thank you.
Councilor Mindine?
You were mentioning about going to school there and running programs with the kids. Do the RCMP, and it's too bad Sergeant Barber's gone already, but they still have the DARE program that they used to have years ago or whatever? Or do you work in consort with them on that?
That's a good question. I haven't quite spoken with Staff Sergeant Barber yet about anything in regards to presentations at the schools. I do know of the DARE program. I haven't heard of such program in a couple of years, not just in this area, but primarily throughout the province. That's a question I don't know. I will follow up with Staff Sergeant Barber and inquire about that. I believe that it would be beneficial if we could coordinate a joint approach at that, for sure.
Yeah, it's not that I'm not doubting your ability to do that, but I think the RCMP presence in there would help too, especially once we get into things such as when we get closer to grad, and then also the drinking and driving for kids, especially getting closer to graduation. So getting their presence there sort of helps sometimes with that. Not
For sure.
I downplay your role in the deal, but
My thought process behind the going to schools would be primarily targeting the younger youth in the generation. So like bike safety, pedestrian safety, crosswalk safety, that kind of thing. There's a lot of enforcement services departments in many municipalities throughout the province of Alberta that create their own kind of safety programs and presentations and such. So I've been reaching out to them as well for ideas and suggestions and stuff to put stuff together.
okay, thank you very much.
Councilor Martinson? Any
Uh,
questions?
Brady, your equipment pool. I don't know if you can tell me off the top of your head, but when's your next vehicle to be replaced? What year? Do you remember?
I believe the 2018 F-150 was slotted for replacement in 2027.
Okay.
I think that was the plan.
Okay.
Councilor Hanlon?
Hi, I do have one question. The other day I was on the town website and I noticed we have a crime map. Is that you that updates that?
No, if I'm correct, I believe that's managed by the RCMP. I'm not sure specifically who, but somebody within the RCMP updates that, and I believe it's just a link that's from the RCMP's website so that it can include that map on our website.
Thank you.
Deputy Mayor? Just a question out of curiosity. You have resolved complaint files 19. What constitutes a resolved complaint?
Basically anything somebody comes to us with a complaint, whether that be parking related, animal control related, trespassing related, anything that stems from a complaint, basically. I don't know how to break that down any
Okay,
further.
so when they're resolved, are tickets given or
Sometimes, yes.
somebody you've just got a good reminder?
So sometimes when complaint files are resolved, yes, tickets are issued. Sometimes it could just be an information file where somebody had come to us with information about somebody's property and we're just documenting it to have future reference of it. Could be an incident that's referred to another agency where our investigative side of things is done and it's forwarded on. Not sure if that's the answers that you're looking
No,
for,
that's
but
fine. Just a more general question. We have contracts with, that you do police enforcement for the county and for, what is, I think it's a Little Smoky.
yeah, Philaire McLean.
How's that going?
I think it's going well. So far, we haven't had too many complaints from the communities that we service. I think we've had I can't remember off the top of my head, it's 4 or 5 files that we've completed so far for the county. and then one file for the McLennan, Falaire, Donalise, Rouville area.
And you're
that's-
managing the balance between the work here in High Prairie and the work for the counties?
I would like to think so, yeah.
Okay, good. Well, thank you very much for your report. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Moving on then
Need a motion.
to the minutes.
You need a
That's
motion
right,
to,
thank you. Entertain a motion to accept his report for information. Counselor Minderline.
I'll make that motion.
All those in favor? Carried. Moving on to the minutes then. These are the minutes of the Committee of the Whole, February 3rd. Committee of the Whole minutes should be approved by the Committee of the Whole. Okay? Not by the Town Council. So we'll move on to the minutes of the regular meeting of Council, February 10. Are there any errors or omissions? Page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, and page 6. Hearing no errors or omissions, I would entertain a motion to adopt the minutes. Deputy Mayor, all those in favor? Carried. Moving on, we've seen this one before. Agenda item 6.1, we're now on page 25. Live barn. The CEO, please introduce this topic, this item.
Actually, I'll have CM come up and introduce the topic.
Good evening. So in last regular meeting of council, Candace Hare had come in on behalf of High Prairie Minor Hockey to discuss bringing in Live Barn into High Prairie, into both the arenas. Live Barn has been established in 2015. It's in 4,500 different arenas across North America and Sweden. Currently in our area, it's in Slave Lake and Lacrete. So it's becoming more popular in this area. Wanting to get firsthand information, I did contact Slave Lake to speak on the issue of the Live Barn. She was happy with it. Users were very happy with it. Having access to see games when, for example, grandparents who don't live around this area still have the ability to watch. She had said they have had no issues so far. It was quite straightforward and they took care of everything and the signage that goes along with it. So the discussion would be, is this something High Prairie would be interested in? It is no cost to us as the town. Live Barn comes in, installs all their equipment. They keep ownership of that equipment. So should there be any issues or malfunctions, they come and repair it. It is on them. As well as with how they make money is they sell memberships so that you have access to these cameras. And in return, 30% is given back to the town of High Prairie. And that's how they function, their financial aspect of it. So we are given a code and that's where we get the discount. So 30% comes back to High Prairie, Live Barn keeps the rest. So it's seen success because it's now in 4,500 different arenas. There is no responsibility on our part. It is all taken care of Live Barn. Live Barn carries all ownership of the equipment. So if there's anything, they take care of it. And High Prairie Minor Hockey had approached me regarding this matter. And then she came forward to you guys in council because we're an area where a lot of transient area where a lot of people have moved here, their children are in sports, and it's not just hockey, it could be for anything that happens on the ice. And this gives their family and friends the ability to watch without having to drive here. So for cost, there is none to the town of High Prairie. It's just if we would like to see it in our facilities.
Okay, thank you very much. Are there any questions or comments? We had this one at the last one, so I'll just wait for people. Councillor Mindelaine?
Thank you. Just a couple quick questions. So they cover everything. Now, what if it's an actual vandalism or something, like something's broken there by somebody in the arena? It's done purposely. We don't find out who the dirty bugger is. And are we responsible for that, or they cover that also?
No, it's property of Live Barn, so they take all full responsibility of all repairs. If it gets hit by accident, let's say by a puck, shouldn't ever happen because we have netting, they would come in and fix it because we don't own it and they don't want us to touch their equipment either.
And then the other question would have to do with insurance. Do they have insurance for this, for anything there, liability insurance or whatever? If somebody's not happy that they're being cambered, they want to take somebody to court, they look after that. It's their responsibility also?
They carry insurance.
Thank you. That's it.
Councillor Schunder?
I would have liked to see a copy of the contract. It's a 6-year contract. We're talking about the possibility of tearing down the Sports Palace and building a multiplex. If we tear down the Sports Palace on year 4 or 5, what happens to that 6-year contract?
So they would come remove their equipment and then it would be put on hold
Okay,
because their revenue stream is based on being able to stream events. So when we tear down, it would be put on hold and then reissued once we open our doors again.
we'd be expected to install it into the new building.
They would do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then my other question, who does the install? Because my only hesitation is random contractor comes in, drills holes in the ceiling and we end up with more leaks. Or does Live Barn have a team that goes around and installs in all these arenas? Or are they going to subcontract to a local contractor who's potentially going to cause issues?
So their installation, they insure. So let's say they went through the wall, they hold liability insurance for those issues. When I spoke to Slave Lake and Lacrete, they said there was no issues. They came in, they did it correctly, cleaned up after themselves. They've had no issues with any type of leakage or any of that stuff. And they said professionals came in. She didn't tell me who it was, but that it was professionally done and done well.
Okay. So whoever installed it in Slave Lake and Lacrete, that'd be the same group installing it here?
I wouldn't be able to answer that until he was vague in the sense of once you install, then you'll have all the information.
Yeah.
Like who the contractor is and everything, but until then, but he said they have a team.
Okay.
So I don't know if they go as far as High Prairie or if it's Slave Lake, or I didn't get that far with him just because I didn't want to jump the gun
Okay.
and not have.
Okay.
Okay, Councillor Temple? Councillor Hanlon?
I have a question about the internet. I see one of our costs with this would be the internet. Now, would we have to get to meet their 10 MBS upload? Now, I know you were waiting a few months back regarding the internet for the golf simulator. So will we have an internet issue? Or will it be the same internet? And will it be strong enough not to interfere with the golf simulator and the cameras running at the same time, for example?
So for the Gordon Buchanan Center, they are coming to complete the work, hopefully in the next month or so for internet. It's should not interfere. There should be no reason for it. Sports Palace has already been upgraded, so there should not be any internet disruptions. I would confirm that again once more, just to make sure with Canadian Fiber Optics. But as far as I know, once the GBC is upgraded and they're completed, it will not interfere with the golf simulator because that's completely separate. They've had a line put in just for the golf simulator.
Councillor Martinson?
No questions.
Deputy Mayor?
Is that both arenas?
It'd be separate installations, separate contracts. But again, that is the choice of council to decide if they wanted one, two, or none. Because they are considered separate arenas, so separate contracts.
And not the curling rink.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. The recommended action, and I'm rewording it because administration doesn't approve, council approves. Recommendation that council approve the installation of live barn in the Sports Palace and the Gordon Buchanan Center arenas. Is there anyone willing to undertake that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Councilman Green? Any further discussion on the motion? This is the installation of a live barn in both of our ice surfaces. All those in favor? Carried. Moving on now to page 33, the High Prairie Co-ed Hockey Tournament. The CAO.
We were approached to consider whether council would consider defraying some of the net costs of this tournament. Mazem, if you'd like to come up and speak further. Yeah, press the button.
Good evening, everyone.
Go ahead.
Basically what we're doing is we're trying to fundraise for said new facility within the community. Whether it's a multiplex, whether it's a new building over your sports palace. Basically, I recognize that it was something that we need and we want in this community. And what a better way to fundraise for it is actually in spirit with a hockey tournament. So what I did is I proposed a co-ed family style fun hockey tournament. I did put a competitive side to it just to attract a little more competitive teams. It's still a co-ed fashion, so there's still females on the team. But then also the non-competitive version, which allows U15 and up players to join the older players and just have some fun. I approached the High Prairie Regals to run a beer gardens under their license, which they have approved. So they'll be running the beer gardens in the specific location that they currently run it for their hockey games, just due to their liquor license. It's in that vicinity. I'm also working with the curling club to open up the upstairs and run their bar and potentially have some entertainment there till midnight on Friday night. I also approached the Barracudas club volleyball to run the 50-50. And what I did is I designed it so not only are we fundraising for one individual group in the community, I designed it so we're fundraising for multiple. So the High Prairie Regals will receive 100% of the proceeds of the bar to go to their club. The Barracudas will get 100% of the proceeds to go up from the 50-50 to go to their club, as well as the curling club will get 100% of the proceeds. As well as within the entry fee for every team, they got to bring some non-perishable food items to donate for the food bank. So I'm going to design it so basically pitch the idea with fill a Ram truck and donate to the food bank. The proceeds from the tournament entry fees, the silent auction, and any donations that we get otherwise will be turned over 100% over to the rec department. So that's why I'm here today. Obviously, with the ice fees being where they're at, I'm limited to the amount of money that I can fundraise for that rec department. if I hand over all the entry fees just to pay the fees for the ice, obviously the insurance policy to run the tournament, there wouldn't be much left. So my hopes is I didn't put a monetary value on what the discount would be. I'm in the spirit of working collaboratively together for this purpose. So I wanted to see what your thoughts were on it. I kind of have an idea in my mind what I'm hoping for, but I'm open to ideas. Obviously, I don't. Yeah, I'm also on the agenda for the county for their meeting tomorrow as well. So what you don't or what you can't provide me, I will be going over that direction as well to help support the tournament. So my hopes is for the town to donate one side, so the Sports Palace or the Gordon Buchanan side, whatever. I don't know if you really care to put a side on it, and then the county donates the other side.
I have a question for you. Have you seen the recommendation that the administration has placed in front of council?
I have, yeah.
You have? And you don't have any questions about it?
Nope.
Okay. Well, then I'll go around the table and ask if the councilors have any questions of your proposal. Councilor Shunter?
I ask administration, either Mr. Joy or Sehan, why 130 and why 90? Where did those dollar values come from?
It was just an estimate made to bring us to about $1,000 credit. So that's basically just a discount part of that. And this would, for council, this would come out of the 30,000 budget that you have for grants to other organizations. Last year, maybe it's because it was an election year and other distractions, they only spent 9,400 of that 30,000. So there is money available, but it's up to council. They can defray the cost by $500, $1,000. It's whatever council feels most comfortable with.
The mic, please.
I'm thinking more so, we've had quite a few groups ask for discounted ice time, and I want to avoid billing one group at $80 and another group at $95 and a third group at $85. I'd rather just pick a discounted dollar flat rate, whatever it is. Have a separate line item on the shoot, what's it called? On the fees by law. Yeah. Have a separate line item on the fees by law that is, ice rates and then discounted ice rates for nonprofit groups kind of thing. But it's something to look at and discuss.
My only concern with that is if I am to offer that discount to every group, that comes out of my revenues.
Pardon me, I can't hear you.
So if I'm to automatically give out that discount, this comes out of my revenue rather than come from council's grant budget that you're signed with.
I'm not suggesting it's automatic. I think that council still needs to approve the discount. I am just suggesting that it should be the same discount offered to every group instead of offering one group 85 and another group 90. Right?
Okay, and that, okay.
Let's pick a number and let's use the same number for everybody is all I'm getting at.
Okay, I understand now.
Councilor Temple? Councilor Hanlon? Councilor Martinson?
No questions.
Councilor Minderline?
So the $1,000 you were looking for us in the RFD, is that strictly from our share and then you're going to go for another 1,000 from the county, or are you looking to share that $1,000 deferral at 50-50, so 500?
That $1,000 deferral was actually offered by you guys, not presented by me. Yeah, so I do have kind of a blanket work down of what the actual numbers would be. In reality, if we stayed full rate at the hours that I'm proposed to use the facilities, I'm a total of $7,920. At council's or the motion put forward for the $1,000 discount, obviously to a maximum of 1,000, you'd be 69.20. At the rate proposed, 130 and the 90 after the 16 hours would be 59.60. If we did a blanket of straight time of $90 per hour for the full 26 hours that I need it would be about 4,680. My goal is to split that number, whichever column we choose from, between the town of High Prairie and the county. To say that I'm a nonprofit or a group just looking for a discount is kind of discredited in a way, because I'm not. Technically, you can almost call me a town employee in a situation, because I'm not doing it for me, I'm doing it for you. So I'm not like the other tournaments that are running in the community. This is solely for the town of High Prairie. So to try to cut it on a cap discount, sure, I'm fine with that. But at the same time, it's a little bit of a different picture. I'm fundraising for you. So I did all the legwork. I'm doing it all. I'm continuing it all. And the money's just going back to you.
Okay, that's fine. And
I'm
then
glad you looked at her when you said the money goes back to you.
Well, it's for the rec department, right?
so that, I'm fine with that. Then the second part of my question is, you mentioned the fact you've done all this work and you're not getting paid. Are there people getting paid out of this function, out of the proceeds from this, that you're raising? Or is it all 100% any profit going over for the?
No, all the profits are being spilled over. Like I said, the profits from the bar upstairs in the curling rink will go strictly to the curling rink. The bar for the Regals, 100% goes to the Regals. The proceeds from the entries, the silent auction, and any monetary value donations for the tournament go specifically 100% to the rec department. There's no money to be paid out for anybody. It's all volunteer based. So.
No, that's fine. That's good. That's the answer I was looking for. Just two other little parts. The money that'll be turned in, would there be a report coming with that to say, okay, here's how much we gathered for this, here's how much we spent for this, here's the balance of the check, just as something we can follow up on. And then the last thing is the money would not go to recreation, but it instead should go to administration to a reserve set up for the Sports Palace / rec complex for future
Yes.
use.
It wouldn't go directly to the rec
No,
department.
I just want to clarify that
To the
though.
town
So
of High Prairie, but we would set up.
the
similar to what
administration
we-
would set it up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like they did with the splash pad.
Yeah.
There was a separate account specifically for that.
Okay, thank you.
Deputy Mayor, any questions, comments?
Not right now.
Well, I certainly agree that we shouldn't be all over the place with what the ice rental is. I agree with Councillor Shunder that council really should set a discount for charitable activities so that we don't have to reassess every one. And this idea that council pays for it out of their discretionary fund, it doesn't work for me either. It can be paid for out of recreation.
Can I ask why this $30,000 that is allocated to council is specifically designed to give back to community organizations who are looking to put things on in the town of High Prairie? Would that not qualify?
So that does every time that we give a discount on ice time, where does that money come from? Does that all come out of the discretionary fund? If so, we've never been told that it does.
So as administration, I've told that I do not give discounts out.
No, you're not giving them. We are.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got the authority to give discounts. You
Oh, I
don't.
know. No, I know.
Good.
But I was told that it's council, that's why you're given this grant fund. is to provide the community.
So then I have to ask the CAO, does every time that somebody gets the discounted ice time, does that come out of our discretionary fund? If so, we haven't been told that.
No, it hasn't in the past, but
See, I love tradition and precedent.
I should mention that with the recreation net surplus or net deficit that they incur, percentage of that gets covered by the county also. So, I mean, it's kind of back and forth. So what we're doing is we're gaining in revenue for the recreation department, which helps, it just helps reduce the, 50-50 participation of the county and ourselves.
Well, I'm quite comfortable in leaving the disposition of all of this to you and the CAO. But I am concerned about what would be a standard discounted rate. Because we do seem to be all over the place and we may as well settle on one now.
Excuse me.
Go ahead.
Currently, our tournament rate for adults is $181.50 an hour. It's reduced after 16 hours to $108 an hour. Our youth rate is $132 an hour. After 16 hours, gets reduced to $77. So that's currently how the fee by law sits. And that's how I bill accordingly.
Okay, and would this qualify for the youth discount? It sounds like it would.
With this tournament, there's adults and youth. So depends how, if you want to.
No, I just said, I understand how this was figured out. Somebody decided we would give $1,000 and then the adjustments were made. But again, I think that is almost a random way of doing things. And I have no problem giving, personally, I have no problem giving you the youth discount, and you can ask the other counselors how they feel about it. But this coming up with a separate kind of rate depending on somebody's generosity is just going to set precedent after precedent that conflicts, just contradictory precedents. And I'd rather have a single scale. Could we have some suggestions, Councillor Mindar?
Okay, this is the first time we're dealing about this and talking about a rate for reduced rates in there. Now, for the recreation, any rates that are done has to be approved by the recreation board, which is a joint committee between us and the county. So therefore, we can't just say this is what the rate's going to be now without first taking it to that board and getting that through them. If I'm correct, assuming that. Now, this may not just be request we get this time for ice rates. There may be other people coming to us in the future for saying, well, we don't want, or we want something for free, and they ask for that. Anytime
That's
we're going to hold our
exactly why
managers.
I want to go to the listed discounted rates. Councillor Shunter, any view on this?
What does it cost to operate the arena for a day with staff and utilities and everything else? What's the operating cost per hour?
So depending on the event, something such as provincials requires more staff. So you'll see 4 staff in the day and 4 at night. But again, it depends how many games are going on. It's you can't put a set dollar amount each day because depending on weekends where we have provincials or a co-ed, you're going to have more staffing. But on a weekend where you only have one game after one another, you have 3 staff during the day and 3 at night. Again, it depends if Red Wings are playing, Regals are playing, if it's a co-ed tournament. There's different factors that I have to look at to determine, okay, this weekend cost us $1,000. This weekend cost us $3,000. Because I kind of base it upon what's happening in the arena during the day.
But you got to be able to calculate a break even, right? Some way, somehow. But I don't know. I got to think on it.
You're looking at about $1,000 in staffing.
And utilities and lights and gas and everything else.
I'd have to go back. I don't know
Yeah.
off the top of my head.
Yeah.
It's in my office.
CEO, any comments? Any comments to lead us out of this?
Well, and I don't, I think it's, I would prefer just a flat, credit. Anywhere between 500 and, well, I recommended 1,000. I don't think, I think the trouble council has is spending this 30,000. I think with the number of teams that will be playing and the number of people that'll be brought into the town and going to the restaurants and everything else, I think it's a small price for council to pay to contribute towards this tournament. I mean, we're all about economic development and encourage, people are upset with the Treaty 8 going elsewhere. The more tournaments we can attract into this town, I think council should encourage.
Okay, let's cut this through it this way, that we will approve a $1,000 credit against the regular rates.
And it'll come from,
That will come from that 30,000.
there we go.
Now we're not talking about discounted rates. We're back to what do we give a charitable organization out of our discretionary fund? And it cleans this up, but I still think we should have a set rate for this stuff. Okay? Any motion then?
Can I ask something? If you're gonna make a motion and trying to do a set rate for a charitable organization with $1,000 off of the standard rates, I might as well just wait until you guys discuss a lowered rate, because at the proposed rates, if you actually discounted it, I'm far better ahead actually by $1,000 if I wait.
It was my understanding, now let's,
You're
spending way too much time on it.
79.20
yeah.
at
no, just-
regular.
No, let me explain my understanding. My understanding that this recommendation really is equivalent to $1,000 discount.
It would be 2,000 at the new rates proposed. It's 59.60.
Yeah, hang on. I'm looking at the CAO. He's the one that wrote the recommendation.
Well,
I don't mind if you're
yeah.
giving them 2,000, fine, but we're going to run this as a credit against the regular rates.
And you're saying at $130 an hour. Yeah.
Councilor Martinson?
You're probably looking at about $1,800.
So regular rates is 79.20. Proposed rates is 59.60.
Councilor Mindenline?
So if we were to get the $1,000 and you were to get another $1,000 from the county, that would then cover you up.
Well, the county was willing to do a little bit more.
Okay, so that's fine.
So
They have bigger pockets.
what I would do is I would be okay with either what my proposed rate was $90 an hour straight time for the 26 or 27 hours, which is 46.80. And then I will go to the county and see what they would provide on top of that. Because I still have insurances and stuff like that that has to come out of those funds. Like, I'm just trying to raise as much funding for the rec center as possible. So if you guys are okay with $90 straight time, then
Councilor Mindenline?
Yeah, the first thing is this insurances. I'm not sure if that would qualify under our municipal insurances we have for the building already. that's something we looked into and maybe help out there. But then the other thing is, and I just want to state this for the record, that we've already got a rate for tournament rates, and that would take into consideration that we do have, most of the people having tournaments are either minor hockey, there are groups such as this or whatever, whether it's either Treaty 8, they're all be charitable. So there's a reduced rate giving already for that. So now we're looking to reduce a reduced rate or whatever. I think we should stick with what we've got and just go with the dollar amount given to a group based on the size of the group and their needs.
And I rely on Councillor Mindline to frame that into a motion. Because that's exactly what I think we should follow a set rates that we normally deal with. And if we're going to do something, we should give credit. Councillor Shunter.
Just to back up, because I did the math real quick here. It's 21 and a half hours, right? Oh, because you've got 21 and a half on the, okay. I got you. But it's not $7,500. At 21 and a half hours, it's at full price, it's $3,498 in ice rental fees per side. Oh, I see what you're getting at. Never mind, you got me. Okay.
Okay, Councillor Mindline.
Make a motion, the council approve the donation of $1,000 to be provided to the group hosting a co-ed hockey tournament. The dates provided in the RFD, and that funding come from the council donations. Does that give Wendy enough to go with?
Go ahead. You wanted to say something?
Looking at other municipalities, it's very common that they do have a tournament rate for nonprofits that they have for a weekend. So looking at other municipalities, it's quite common to see tournament rates for adults, tournament rates like a nonprofit tournament rate for adults and youth. And they have a weekend rate. So it's a straight one rate for the entire weekend. And they usually have it as a 3-day or a 2-day. So that is something I would like to consider bringing forward to council at a future date.
I thought we had a tournament rate. So we did too.
Yeah, that's the 180, 150, and then 16 hours later.
We could really make it simple if you guys, rather than going back and forth. I'll accept if you guys are willing to do the proposed rates that you guys put in RFP that would put me at $5,960. So that would be a $2,000 reduction, and I will get the county to match that. If obviously they're.
So I thought you said we had tournament rates.
That's regular rate.
So it does, so for tournaments, it's 180, 150 per hour per arena. Yes, it doesn't matter if it's a weekday or a weekend. More than 16 hours. After the 16 hours, it then gets lowered to 108.
It was the youth
But you
rate.
still pay 181 for the first 16 hours. Anything after 16 hours goes down to 108. Our youth rate is 132 an hour. After 16 hours, it then gets bumped down to 77, but you still pay two separate rates depending on how many hours you're there for.
I'll leave my motion that stands as a donation of $1,000. Somebody suggest a friendly amendment?
Councillor Temple?
Don't forget what we offered the rate for Treaty 8, trying to get it back. And Treaty 8 isn't a nonprofit.
Yeah, I'd want to do, I'm kind of thinking more than $1,000 as well.
Well, give your number to Councillor Mindline and he'll amend his motion.
I would move for option 1 as written is what I would suggest,
As written?
but not to the maximum reduction of $1,000, to the maximum of reduction of $1,000 per arena. Otherwise, option 1 as written. What does everybody think about that? And further, does it have to come out of the $30,000 grant fund, or can we fund this out of, because it's going back to the the rec department, can't it be funded out of the rec department's budget?
It certainly could. I mean, but it'll be we'll gain more revenue than we pay out, I anticipate. So that way, yeah, it could just come out of there.
Okay,
An
let's cut
additional-
through this and draw a line under this. And the motion then is that council approves reducing the hourly rental from $181.50 per hour to $130 per hour for the first 16 hours and to $90 per hour invoiced for over 16 hours to a maximum reduction of $1,000 per arena.
To be funded out of the rec department's budget.
No, let's cut through this. It'll come out of our 30,000, but any money coming back will go into the special reserve for the Sports Palace, because there is money coming back. Okay? Moved by Counselor, was that a friendly amendment? Yes. Yeah, it can be unfriendly too, as long as you accept it. Okay, moved by Counselor Mindelein. All those in favor?
So that's option one?
Carried.
Sorry, Brian, that was option one, but the maximum of $2,000, 1,000
Yeah.
per rink service.
Okay.
Next time we have these situations, we should just make it clear there's a credit and just be done with it. Okay, moving on. Thank you very much for coming forward.
Sorry,
And thanks for your community spirit.
Yeah, thanks for your time. Really appreciate it.
clarification, just so, because I was writing, it's to come from my budget or,
No, it'll come from the 30th,
Okay.
from our discretionary budget.
okay.
We'll stick you some other time. Moving on then to 6.3, security camera policy.
Very good, thank you, Mayor. So I've passed this through the lawyer, and he came back with a number of revisions, cleaned it up. So this is the policy now, the clean policy, and all the revisions you can see in the next in pages 40 through to 44. So now we have a more of a legal document as a policy.
Okay, and the recommendation then is that council approve ADM 032026 security camera policy. Well, we'll first go around and ask if there are any questions on this policy. We've seen this one before. Basically, we simply wanted it presented to us in a way that we could determine the revisions. Any questions or comments? Councilor Shunder?
Can I ask a silly one? Page 38, the request for disclosure. My understanding is that the Access to Information Act allows anybody to request video footage from the town. But the way this reads to me is that requests for disclosure will only be allowed through number one, internal requests for disclosure, or number two, law enforcement requests. I have to be misunderstanding the wording, I'm sure.
I don't think we want citizens different citizens just to see what was recorded on a certain date. I'd prefer these security cameras are in place or will be in place to catch criminal activity or, break and enters and damage. Any other reason for anybody in the general public to request, there has to be a very good reason. It wouldn't be, I saw somebody, I suspect somebody crossing my yard. But if a business has damage to it, or, we would refer to the RCMP. That would be basically it. We want to keep it as restricted as possible. Now, what could happen, we could refuse access to that information and then they would appeal to the privacy commissioner. And then he would give us advice as to what should be disclosed and what should not be disclosed. So it's not like we would refuse. I mean, we'd refuse in certain cases because we want to be sure that we aren't breaching somebody's privacy. So I would rather it appeal to the privacy commissioner and
So
come back
this,
to us.
this does not override any citizen's right to the protection of privacy. Act.
Right, right.
Counselor Mindine?
No.
Okay. Counselor Martinson, any questions?
No, none.
Okay. Need a motion on the security camera policy? Counselor Shunder?
Move option 1 as written, that council approves ADM-03-2026 security camera policy.
Any further questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor? Carried. Moving on to the sale of surplus equipment on page 45.
This is another policy that we've just cleaned up a bit and revised. In bold are the changes that were made, but the major part of the revisions was just naming the kind of auctioneers that we'd be using and gov deals. So this is in front of council for the second time.
Any questions or comments? We've all seen this one. Counselor Hanlon.
When I was reading this, on page 2 of this, number 6, it leaves me a bit confused because it said who can open the sealed bids and the auctioneer bids. How can you have both? Wouldn't you have one or the other?
You'd have one or the other. It just depends if we wanted to send the equipment on consignment to the auctioneers. But any other, when we put out a request for interest, it would come to me and the department head, and we would open up those sealed bids from there.
Because the same thing in number 4 for advertising, it said that the sale of surplus equipment shall be publicly advertised through the newspaper, the town website, official social media channels, and auctioneers. Should it not be or auctioneers? Like,
Those are the options in front of us. So it could say or.
but this makes it sound like you're going to advertise to all of these places. And where my issue is if we're advertising for bids, for sealed bids, how would it go? How would an auctioneer do that? Because auctioneers generally sell
Or it goes to the
right
auction.
there.
No, I see where you're coming from. So I could just put in or there. It would be different.
Just change the and to or.
Or, yeah.
Because and makes it all inclusive. Further questions, Counselor Mindine?
Yeah, I think that's what needs to be added there is under number 4 is media channels and then comma, and if applicable, comma, auctioneers.
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't necessarily auctioneers wouldn't be applicable in all cases.
So I'll change
That's
that.
why we would have the or in there.
Yeah.
Counselor Shunder?
Section 5 bid eligibility excludes town employees and members of council. But if you go through option 5, 6, 7 and you are unable to sell the piece of equipment and you get to section 9, it reads in the event of no buyers, in the event that no buyers can be found by the dealer, then the manager of public works in coordination with the CAO can sell or dispose of it outright at his discretion only after all other processes have been used. And I don't know if that's the best process for that. I don't want you selling it for $1 at your discretion. I want it going to scrap if it's worth $1,000 at the scrap yard kind of thing, right?
That's where the dispose reference. That's why it's made their disposal. But because at that point, the value of this, whatever the asset is, would be pretty low. And we would be looking at scrapping it,
Yeah, but it reads sell or dispose.
sell or dispose. So it's one or two options. So somebody may purchase it and put their rusty equipment in their yard and put flowers on it. You know, depends what they want to use it for.
So, but how do we word that to ensure that you don't sell it for, as a yard ornament for $1? That it's, sold or disposed of at its highest value?
But there's no, my only concern is nobody's bidding on it, period. It has very little value. So sometimes it costs more to move it than selling it for $1. So I just like we did with the Santa Claus cabin, the old tourist cabin. We just wanted somebody to cart it away because it's very expensive to transport it.
Well, I can understand that. Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
Any further questions or comments on this one? Deputy Mayor?
Okay, so you want to get rid of all this equipment. If you're not going to get very much, let's say for that loader, for example, if you're going to get $10,000 or less, you'd be better off just to keep it and use that as a backup loader like they're doing right now.
That old loader isn't going to be much use for spare parts for the brand new loader that we've got.
Not spare parts, but it's a good backup because they've been using it lots this winter.
They've been lucky. And we didn't have the new loader yet. So I'm hoping for a big snowstorm after March 10th when we receive the snow blower part, just so that we could test it out. But I see what you mean, but if there's any use we can get out of the old equipment, we would certainly keep it. But this old rusty broken down equipment, I don't think we can. It'd be better off to scrap it unless an auctioneer wants to actually if they're able to sell it.
Councilor Windeline?
Just one quick question. As a sealed bids or an auction, why would an employee or a councillor not be available to bid on those items? They'd be the same as anybody else in the public there. They wouldn't be a preferred buyer. They would just have a sealed bid in an envelope, and if they happen to have the high number, then they should be able to bid on that same as at an auction. You go up and you head to head with the person you're auctioning, bidding against.
General public might think, with the inside information that the councillor has, that they knew it wouldn't sell and they're waiting to buy it for $1. And
Then that person should be there with $2.
No, I
They have
have
an
it right. It's written to avoid the apprehension of conflict. And I think the apprehension of conflict would be pretty powerful if we did get something on a sealed bid. Any further questions or comments on this one? And entertain a motion on the recommendation. Councillor Shunter?
Option 1, that council approves ADM -02 -2026 sale of surplus equipment policy as amended.
All those in favor of as amended? All those in,
I raised the eyebrows there because when I say as amended, that doesn't dissipate what the amendment is, so it leaves it open to
well,
whatever.
the
amendment-
changed to or.
Okay, yeah, so we can mention that in there as amended by the inclusion of and if applicable.
All those in favor? Carried. Going to skip across the operating budget and go straight to 6.6. These will be items out of your baskets. And 6.6 is the subdivision proposal, Lot 5, Block 7. Councillor Martinson, did you get this?
I did.
Okay. if we run out of time, we can always deal with the budget at at next Tuesday at Committee of the Whole. But let's get all of this stuff out of the way. CAO.
So we had a delegation, I think we had a delegation that came to council, and the purchaser or the developer wanted to purchase the large lot along Pleasant View, and wanted where he'd put one residence in and subdivide two others, so it'd be 3 lots. So we went to Mackenzie Municipal Services Agency to see what needed to be done and how we should proceed with this type of proposal, because this lot and originally council had anticipated we'd put 25 or 30 lots on it. So we'd have to have the MMSA, the planner, has recommended that council directs administration to prepare, to use MMSA to prepare a comprehensive concept plan or area structure plan for the area prior to subdivision consideration, including protection of future collector road alignments, public road dedication aligned with ultimate corridor direction, secured permanent access to the northern parcel, confirmed municipal serving strategy size to ultimate build out, and infrastructure cost allocation framework. So we're trying to be careful and measured in how we proceed.
Okay, this is the technical one to a great extent. So we'll go around and ask anybody for questions. I'm going to start with Councillor Martinson.
Thanks, Mayor Van Buren. Again, I think after the developer, or the person that wants to buy this property sees the cost to upgrade lines and that in there, I don't think he's going to be going further with the development. What it was, the area structure plan was for, was to look at the extension of High Prairie to go farther to the east, to the land that is annexed already. And there was like loop lines in there, water lines, so all the lines in there within that proposal was oversized for future development. So I can't see, the price of the 3 lots are going to be so high that I don't know who's going to end up buying them. Like, I'm against this proposal.
Okay, we'll keep going around the table. Councillor Minderline?
I have to sort of agree with Councillor Martinson, but I think we need to get the full details of what it is so that we can present it to the developer or the potential purchaser. And then therefore, if we go with option 2, that will give us the most information to provide the buyer or developer, which is to give this to MMSA. And that is what's option 2.
So you, in fact, support the recommendation, which Councillor Martinson does not support.
Not support the recommendation. Well, support the recommendation that we go get more information before we make a decision.
Do you support it as written, or are you rewriting it?
Option 2?
Yes.
Preparation by MMSA of a comprehensive, just add that in there. This would be MMSA doing the work on our behalf, not going out with another engineer or whatever.
Okay, we'll continue around the table. Councillor Hanlon?
Okay, I will need some assistance here in looking at this. So on page 2 of this package, there's 3 lots there, and then there's a big empty lot on the north side. So this package is only concerning where it says 1, 2, and 3? And those would be to get, that would be to get this option 2 all this information for those 3 lots?
That's my understanding, yes.
Okay, thank you.
And it includes, of course, providing for access to that big piece to the north. Okay? Counselor Temple? Counselor Shunter?
I'm very much on the same page as Counselor Minderline. I think we need more information. I think it's important to remember that MMSA bills us a flat rate every year, so it doesn't cost us anything to have them work on this. It's my understanding. So it's there's no cost to getting more information. I think that I think it's important that we think about ways to make this work. And the proposed concept on page 2, I don't see that as being feasible for the same reasons that Councillor Minderline and Councillor Martinson pointed out. But if you reevaluate a little bit and you look at this as as acreages in town in a sense, I think you could squeeze 4, maybe 5 properties, maybe 6 properties on this lot. In addition to the easement to the north, you also need an easement to the east so that the 56th Avenue can continue east to the field that is east of the property. But in the sense that it is, acreage properties, it's not a paved road with streetlights and sidewalks. It transitions to gravel with full utilities with electricity and power and water and gas and sewer. But it's not pavement and sidewalks and streetlights like Councillor Martinson pointed out. A little bit of a different idea to go through there, but it's something for MMSA to look at and advise on, and it doesn't cost us anything for them to do that.
Deputy Mayor?
Nothing right now.
If the recommendation as written is passed, all of this still comes back to council?
That's right. You're just gathering more information and what would be required to do if you're still to go forward with this. So it's,
I in principle don't have a problem with creating some acreages like this. I don't know about the costs, and I think Councillor Martinson has probably got a much better handle on what those are. I noticed that there's an easement to provide access to that northern lot. I don't know why there isn't an easement through lot 3 to all the land to the east.
Yeah, 2 and 3.
Yeah, but if it came up, if this road here was
You would-
extended to get into here.
You would have to hook up to this one here.
That's exactly.
Well,
what I
this
was trying to
one
say,
is
yeah.
coming up in here. That's the street that's access. I'm trying to get access to this big piece.
So then, yeah, so if we went straight like this
Yeah, could be there
and
too.
then like this.
Yeah.
And then you whip this one around.
As long as we get access to them,
Yeah.
to the northern, to what we'll call the northern lot and the eastern lot. As long as you have good, solid access to them, I can sit with this for a while. I suspect that the buyer at some point is going to get frustrated and is going to recognize the ultimate cost of all of this, but that's fine. We have to be careful in how we do all of this. Councilor Minderline?
Just one quick question. So are we still dealing with the same buyer? Because I know when he sat in here, he talked about 1.5 acre lots, not 4.5, 4 or 5 acre lots.
It's the same.
So,
Same person.
so in that page 2 there, you're talking 4 to 5 acres each of those lots. And he talked about 1 to 1.5 acres. Is that correct? If I remember correctly on that one?
Well, it does raise something then that I wasn't prepared to question, but now it's open. It would seem to me that particular lots 1 and 2 somebody might be very tempted to subdivide them because they're relatively large pieces for anything that you would call a in-town acreage. 4 acres is a pretty big chunk. I mean, we used to have half-acre lots in this town, but they've all been chopped up in pieces. So I know what a half acre is, and that's a 4 acre is a big piece of land for this acreage. And I'm assuming that Mackenzie will look at all of this.
Yes,
Any
they,
further questions or comments? I just want to get more construction happening. I want more things happening. Okay, and if people, like the idea of having in what is called an in-town acreage, I got no problems with that. They're willing to pay the cost
Mhm.
and pay the taxes.
Mhm.
Councilor Mindelain?
Yeah, I agree. We need development, but not development at any cost, or we could take a look at Counter Gibbons and you find out what the problems is with any cost. We need to make sure we're protecting ourselves and the community. And then also the ability to move forward in the future with residential lots available for
Oh,
development.
no, I'm not suggesting, I mean, that's why that article about Edmonton being faced with all these net loss subdivisions. It was, I thought, a really good cautionary tale for us that we don't get involved in that, but, no. Counselor, Martinson, any final comments or questions?
Nope.
Okay, now I need a mover for the recommended action. Counselor Mindelain?
I'll go with option 2 as worded at administration's recommended action. The council directs administration to work with Mackenzie Municipal Services to prepare a comprehensive concept plan or area structure plan for the area prior to subdivision consideration, including protection of future collector road alignments, public road dedication alignment, and with ultimate corridor direction, secured permanent access to the northern parcel, confirmed municipal serving strategy sized to ultimate build out and the infrastructure cost for allocation framework.
Yeah, my concern here is that what I call the eastern parcel isn't in this motion.
So did you want, I'll to consider a friendly motion amendment to add northern and eastern parcels?
Okay. Any further questions or comments? At some point, of course, we'll get into the technicalities of the bylaw and all of that, which is, by the way, why I circulated that article on the bylaw stuff that Edmonton had casually stepped over. Okay. The motion as written to include secured permanent access to the northern and eastern parcels. All those in favor? Opposed? Councillor Temple, did you vote?
Yeah.
Okay, carried. Moving on to 8.3, safety and loss management. Ah, that's why you were sitting there. I thought you were here just admiring how town council was conducting its business.
Well, I do admire that.
Good. And that was the right response too. Go ahead, Vern.
Your worship, can we go back to 8.1? Because these are all intertwined, all of these next 4 items.
Yes, let's go to 8.1 then. Thank you.
Okay,
8.1 is on page 55.
as part of operating our gas utility system, we need to have these adopted annually. It's a requirement by rural utilities. So it's an annual adoption. We've brought this forward to previous councils, and it's just what we need to do. And I'll entertain questions.
Okay, so the first one is that we approve the quality management plan. Anybody willing to undertake that one? Councillor Mindelain? I have a question to start off the questions. Why do we have to do this every year?
It's a requirement by the Rural Utilities Branch of the Alberta government.
All hail the Alberta government. Questions or comments? I
So
don't
this
see
is,
a lot of people urging. Counselor Hanlon.
I do have a question. Is this the same as that, like, how long has this been the same document or are there changes?
it's
in here?
adjusted to every year. We get this document basically from the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops. We add the town of High Prairie into where we need to add it. And then it's just, basically it's been the same document for a long time. Yeah.
Further questions or comments? Seeing none, I need a mover. Counselor Hanlon. The recommended motions on page 56.
I will make a motion to go with option one as presented, that council approve the quality management plan, Town of High Prairie gas utility, and direct administration to submit the approval plan to the province.
Any further questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor? Carried. Moving directly on to 8.2, gas utilities operations and maintenance manual.
This one, we only have to adopt every 3 years. If you want to see it every year, we can bring it. I normally bring
No,
it
no,
every year.
no, we can do this every 3 years?
Yes, this one we can do every 3 years.
When was it done last?
2023.
Well, then we don't need it this time.
No,
Thank you.
We needed,
Moving on to safety and loss management program.
we need it for this. Because
You
you're
need it
new-
for this
Because
one?
you're a new council.
Okay.
Right?
As long as we don't have to do it again during the life of this.
Yeah,
council.
you'll have to do it because you got a 4-year term.
Okay, go ahead.
It's the O&M manual. I did brief you guys slightly when we did our tour back in October. This is the Bible that we follow, basically. It's a very large manual, so that is why it's not contained in the agenda for you to read, but we do leave a copy here at the office for anybody who wishes to read through it. It goes from anything from how we operate RMOs to how we drive our vehicles.
So any counselor suffering from insomnia has access to it?
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. I need a motion. Counselor
I'll make
Shunter?
that motion. Okay.
Counselor Shunter?
That council adopts the Federation of Gas Co-ops Member Utilities Operations and Maintenance Manual, and that council directs administration to link to the manual on the website or post the manual on the website or make the manual available on the website, just like any other policy that we, is that possible? It's got to be digitized, right?
It is, we get digital copies from the Federation, but this is an operations and maintenance manual. It's not a policy and it's not a bylaw.
All right, then just option one as written.
Okay. Further questions or comments? Hearing none. All those in favor? Carried. Moving directly on to 8.3, safety and loss management program.
Okay, as part of the QMP,
And in this case, we have a changed version of it in our baskets, okay?
the one that was in the agenda was the safety and loss management, followed by the integrity management program. So that's why this has all been changed. Again, through the QMP, you will see that we need to follow the SLMLS and the IMP. It's all intertwined. We follow basically Canadian standards, Z662, which is the Canadian standards for operation of natural gas distribution systems. It tells us what we need to follow, what safety stuff we need to have. Again, it's pretty straightforward. I'll entertain questions. That's probably the easiest way to do it.
Okay, we have a motion that council adopts this. Have a mover. Councilor Minderline, any questions or comments on this? an exciting topic. All those in favor? Carried. Moving on to 8.4, Integrity Management Program.
Okay, and this again is another intertwined document that we follow. It outlines that we need to do inspections on our pipe, we need to do leak detection, we need to do repairs in a timely manner, those types of things.
Okay, I need a mover to adopt this integrity management program. Everybody shy today?
I'm never shy.
Oh, I noticed that. Councilor Minderline, moved. Questions or comments on the integrity management program? All those in favor? Carried.
Thank you. And if any council member needs to have clarification on anything in regards to the gas system, please feel free to direct your questions to David, and I'm sure he'll send them to me and I'll answer them as quickly as possible.
Okay, thank you very much for
Thank you.
coming and thank you for your patience and staying. Moving on to page 72, the CEO report and action list. This is where we find out what our CEO has been up to.
Well, certainly the last 2 weeks, spent a lot of time with Shanda going back and forth with the operating budget. Did attend the Community Futures Business by the Lake, which was an all-day event in Slave Lake. I'm not sure I would attend again. It was more related to, business.
Yeah,
Commercial
I can
business.
vouch for it, but I attended it also. It's basically gone directly to business people. It had no bearing on council or
Yeah.
municipality. Other than some of the things may apply, but it's available anywhere.
Was helping our peace officer with the resumes coming in and reviewing those, and I am pleased with some of the quality of the resumes I've seen, so encouraged that way. The dealing with the town-owned vacant lots also, that occupied some time, and attended the Economic Development Ambition Outruns Municipal Capacity Seminar. So, and anyway, just about economic development and making sure that we don't get over our skis cost-wise, but and know our capacity for implementing some of the recommendations. And that's basically it.
Entertain a motion to receive for information. Deputy Mayor. Any questions or comments? None?
No.
All those in favor? Receiving for information, carried. Moving on then to page 85. This is all of our reports. Sorry, no, council correspondence. Sorry, got ahead of myself. We have two pieces of correspondence. CAO, please introduce number one.
Well, the first one is the Amateur Spring Indoor Rodeo, and Highbury Agriculturist Society hosts that. And we usually do sponsor at various levels. I think, again, this would come out of council's grants to other organizations. So it's really up to council how much you will want to. I think in the past, we haven't been as visible in the advertising of these rodeos, both this one and the next one we're going to talk about. And it does provide a lot of benefit to the town and commercial businesses in here.
Do we have any idea what was sponsored in the past, the scope?
And
2025, we didn't give anything, but 24 and 23, $750. And then we don't have information until back to 2019.
Okay, so working on the precedent, I'll entertain a motion that based on the precedent that we be an event sponsor. That's Spring Rodeo, yes. Any problems with being an event sponsor? That's $750. Counselor Shunter?
I'm not disagreeing with you, but I want to ask and I want to hear everybody's thoughts. To me, this is more of a county thing. It doesn't strictly relate to High Prairie residents. Is this something we want to be spending High Prairie taxpayer dollars on?
Comments?
That's part of our, I guess, collaboration, cooperation with the county also. So it's, and they contribute to some of our events.
Fair enough.
Any further questions or comments? Counselor Minderline?
I'm not sure if $750, if we would not just do as well with a $500, as that gives us the signage there and also for complimentary passes, which I'm not necessarily interested in. And we'll be printed in the rodeo programs each day of the rodeo. So that gives us what's there for a silver sponsor. Just looking at the difference between the two and just trying to stretch out the $30,000 or whatever we end up with in our budget.
We don't have a motion, so you've just made us one.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
The motion then as presented is that we be a silver sponsor for $500.
To come out of the.
Any further questions or comments?
I'm okay with that.
All those in favor? Carried. Moving on then to the High Prairie Elks Rodeo. Again, asking for sponsorship. Traditionally, what have we done for them?
Do you have the dollar sign? Yeah.
Okay.
In 2025, we gave 1,000, 2024, 2,200, 2023, 2,200, and 2022, 1,750. So now it looks like the sponsor rates here are 28.50 for major VIP sponsorship. And of course, as you all know, this is extremely well attended and lots of people come into town. I would recommend more than $1,000. I would recommend at least 2,300. Just to be more visible and that it does bring a lot of money into town. And we're supportive of that, you know, again, economic development and being
Just
seen.
one question. Do we have the appropriate sign in storage somewhere? Since we've obviously supported this before? Oh. Okay.
But we updated, I remember for the gun show, we updated our booths and broad canvas High Prairie signs. And we could do something like that for this rodeo, have a big canvas.
Okay, entertain a motion then, either with the CAO's generosity or somebody a little more stingy. But I need a motion with a number. Counselor Martinson.
Sponsorship of $1,000.
I hear Counselor Martinson making a motion
Lots
for
for the Elks
1,000.
Lake.
Is that right, Brian?
Yeah. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
The town over the years have helped the Elks, like, we set up barricades, like, for their road, for their parade, so we do lots for them.
Okay, that's right. We do a lot of support work. Any further questions or comments? Counselor Minderline?
I can support that. In addition that, in this one, there's no complimentary drink tickets, and that used to be years ago. I know when it was here, they used to get that, but I don't necessarily agree with getting free complimentary gift drink
I
tickets
love
for
that.
that.
Especially if it's single
If
malt.
I need a drink, I'll buy my own.
Oh, well, if somebody's willing to give me a ticket for single malt, I'll take it. Okay, we're at a Counselor Martinson's motion for 1,000. Shanda, did you have a comment?
I just want to let you know what we've done with the tickets that we do get for the last couple of years. We put taxpayers' names in a draw and we draw names and give them to our ratepayers is what we've been doing.
I think that's wonderful. I think that's fantastic. Okay, so we'll accept that as established practice, and we have a motion on 1,000. Hearing no further comments, all those in favor? Carried. That takes care of the correspondence. And now we're on to page 85, or no, sorry, yeah. Nope, I've got the wrong page here. Page 92. These are our own reports, all of which are written, and I'm very pleased that they're all written on our verbal. Entertain a motion then to receive councillors' reports. Councillor Shunter?
Page 96 doesn't have a name on it, and I was going to suggest we add a name to that page.
Sorry?
Yeah,
Sorry, where are we?
page 96.
Page 96.
That report doesn't have a name on it. It needs a name on it.
Oh, the one who began by apologizing? Who is that? Who's apologizing? Oh, you apologize? Okay, are you apologizing for not putting your name on this? We accept your apology. Entertain a motion to accept for information. Councillor Hanlon, all those in favor? Carried. We're going to have a 10-minute body break till 8 o'clock. Then we'll talk about the budget.